Right now, though, I'm asking you this question. Does your career clash with any of your religious beliefs? And if they do, would you actually leave your career for your religion? Well, that's what 18-year-old Bollywood actress Zaira Wasim has done. Zaira rose to fame in 2016 when she starred in Dangal, one of Bollywood's highest-grossing films. However, she recently announced that she's leaving the industry, saying that the profession threatened her relationship with her religion, which is Islam. She also said, "It was always so easy to succumb to the environment that damaged my peace, Iman, which means faith, and my relationship with Allah." With me to discuss this on What's God Got to Do With It is Sikh Ali, who works in the Muslim charity sector, Hindu student Tilak Parekh, and also Sukh Singh, who works at the Sikh Press Association. What are your thoughts on what Zaira Wasim has done? Do you think that she will be back? Do you respect her decision? What did you make of her as an actress? If you're a fan of the films that she's been in, do you think this is going to be a loss to the industry, or do you respect her decision? And this isn't just about Islam and Zaira Wasim, but also for yourself as well. If your career or a job that you potentially could have had clashed with your religion and you decided not to follow that opportunity, let me know why. Thank you very much. Right. So we're going to come to you first, Sukh, as you're right on my right on this. Do you understand this decision?
Yeah, good afternoon, Casa. I do. I think it's a courageous decision. She's obviously thinking for herself, and being in Bollywood hasn't contributed to her well-being in the way that she expected to. She's obviously clearly not having a good time. So she said, I want to leave, and I respect that.
Fair enough. What about for yourself there, Tilak?
Yeah, I think I completely respect the decision as well. When we make career choices, we have various variables we take into account. That could be family life, finances, social life, and for many people, religion is one as well. So I completely respect her decision as well.
Sikh?
You respect her decision too. I think that it goes without saying, isn't it? People have got that's their freedom of choice. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't respect that.
Do you feel that actually this is about religion, or is this about the industry itself and her not feeling comfortable in it? Because there's been a fair few outpourings on social media, people also in the industry who, whilst respecting her decision, think it's got less to do with religion but more to do just about the way that the industry made her feel. What are your thoughts, Sikh?
I think that she's an 18-year-old girl, and I think she's very young, and I expect it's quite overwhelming to be in that industry anyway. And I think maybe it's just a decision. I think she's sort of saying it's for her peace of mind, but at 18, I question how much she felt that she fit into that industry, and progressively, like Bollywood films, they're quite explicit, and I just wonder if it just fit with what she wanted to do with her life, and what she was willing to do on screen.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. I think, when you look at her age, at 18 years old, I was messing around at school, let alone being a Bollywood superstar. People at that age are having dreams of being a Bollywood superstar. And they're such crucial formative years. You're surrounded by people who are much older than you, who have so much money, who can perhaps buy anything they want, who can, give experiences and just a lifestyle that, to be honest, most people can't even dream of. And I think that can be very disorientating for somebody, whether they're young or old. And if they think that it's clashing with their faith, or in a sense of, their grounding, then I can totally get that.
Tilak, what about for yourself?
Yeah, I think obviously being a Bollywood actress, especially at such a young age, there's a lot of luxury, a lot of fame, and even a lot of stress involved. And from her elaborate Facebook post, you can tell that she's clearly struggled to make this decision over a long period of time, where she's re-questioning herself. So she's clearly thought long and hard over this decision, and she's come to it. So we respect that.
If you're someone at home listening to this thinking, I don't agree with what she's doing, or I don't buy it, or I'm sceptical, get in touch. I would like to hear why you think that's the case. 03459 440 445. Tilak, you mentioned there the Facebook post itself. That in itself was probably as long as Dangal, to be honest. It was really, really, lengthy, but also, a lot of thought went behind it as well. There were citations, there was emotion, there was vulnerability in there. And then she had to do a follow-up post to say, no, my account hasn't been hacked. This is actually me as well. So clearly this is something that there's been a lot of skepticism about, and also people thinking, or is this just a bit of attention seeking as well? Do you think, Saika, do you think that this is something that she will come back to at some point, or is it something that you think this is final now?
I mean, I don't know, like, who knows what the future holds, and, you know, maybe she'll sort of regret the decision when she's a bit older. Like, we all make decisions at 18 that, you know, at 30 we kind of look back on and think, I wish I hadn't done that. So maybe she should have just taken a little quiet break and left her options open. The fact that she went to social media and wrote a really long post, maybe that's something she will regret in the future, because at the moment, you know, she might be news now, but next week she won't be. And then coming back from that in 10 years or whatever, 5 years, she kind of shot herself in the foot a little bit, I think.
I think it's very interesting that she had to do a follow-up post saying that my account hasn't been hacked. I think, you know, when we see celebrities through the prism of Instagram, through their products, through their artwork, through films, we forget that they're real people as well. And, you know, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of fame, they have a lot of things that, you know, we all crave and think would make our life easier, but that doesn't mean then they're immune to certain pressures. I mean, look at sports stars as well, like huge Indian cricketers. Everybody wants to be either, you know, a Bollywood superstar or a cricketer, but when you actually look at their life sort of beyond what we see on a screen, then it does contain pressure sometimes. And, you know, somebody's obviously reacted to that, and she said, actually, I don't want it. And I think actually that's a rare sign, that's a rare showing of humanity. And also, you know, at the end of the day, she's a person that we don't get to see with celebrities very often.
What I want to come on to as well, though, has she done, excuse me, no one's going to I'm not disrespecting her decision, and everybody here on the panel today has so far respected her decision with what she's doing. But it's not like the roles that she was doing were the stereotypical, you know, bikini-clad sort of sexy roles, were they? You know, she was talking about feminism, domestic violence, terminal illness. If you are someone who is very religious, found your calling through religion as well, wouldn't religions be in favour of doing work that raises awareness of these issues?
So I guess this is one thing I found in her Facebook post. She doesn't really detail the exact things in Bollywood which made her leave the industry. You know, it's a fantastic post with a lot of citations from the Quran and different things, and she's really opened up her story, but there isn't any specifics in there as to what it was in the Bollywood industry which made her leave and which were actually clashing with her faith. So that is a question which I don't have an answer to, or we don't know until she explains, really.
Do you think she will?
Yeah.
Well, it depends how much pressure people put on her to do so, maybe.
She doesn't have to. I'm not asking her to explain.
It's just, it's her. You know, people leave their jobs all the time.
Yeah.
This is coming to the spotlight because of, you know, her industry, the post. So she has, of course, no obligation to explain herself.
But Saika, I'm going to come to you as this, you know, as a woman dealing with the roles that she was playing about feminism, domestic violence, also terminal illness as well. Those are also, wouldn't religions be in favour of doing work that raises awareness about that, particularly in an industry that for so long has been quite, you know, misogynistic, people would say? What are your thoughts to that?
I mean, I think that, the roles that she did play, weren't necessarily the bikini-clad ones, and actually it's an opportunity through art to kind of get a message out. But I think it's more about her feeling that she didn't fit in that industry and that she didn't want to be exposed to that. So maybe, like, as a woman, maybe she just didn't want to be in an environment which was, you know, like all the cameramen or whatever around her were all men. Maybe she just wanted to remove herself from that kind of scenario, really.
Let's broaden this out a little bit from just this case here, because I mean, this is something that, you know, not everyone is a Bollywood actor or actress or a cricketer, you know, but we all have these compromises to make on a day-to-day basis as well. Saika, for yourself, would you ever consider leaving your career for your religion? I mean, I come from a Bangladeshi background as well, and, you know, for a lot of people from my background, there's that constant dilemma of whether to sell alcohol in restaurants or not, because, you know, you need to raise a family, you need to have money, but then at the same time, you know, also you want to be completely halal with the way that you make your money as well. It's quite difficult, that, isn't it, Saika?
Well, it is. I mean, it's actually really interesting because like, I really enjoy cooking, and it's always been like a lifelong dream kind of thing for me to have a restaurant of my own. And I never actually did that. because it was just something that was there in the background. I don't know if you're quite brave to kind of follow that through if you've got a different career path. But I just didn't do it because I know that people that tend to go to restaurants want to have a drink with their food. That's when they enjoy, that's what they would class as a really nice meal or whatever. And my vision for a restaurant didn't fit with a it had to have alcohol because I wanted it to be kind of like in a high end establishment. But that doesn't sit right with me. So I wouldn't, there's certain fundamental things that I just wouldn't do. So I wouldn't want to serve alcohol or buy it or sell it or whatever. So I've never done it. So I suppose, that's something that's directly linked to me not pursuing something because of my religion and my beliefs. That is,
I can see that, and that is like chasing your dream as well. So I can understand why that would be the case there. But for some people as well, they have no choice. This isn't not a dream; it's like an obligation. I need to put money, a food on the table for my 2 kids as well. But to do that, I'm going to have to carry pints to, a table. How do you feel about that? And then I'll ask Saika, but then I'll open it up to the 2 of you here as well. But Saika first.
I think that, from an Islamic perspective, I think, be it fulfilling your duty, you've got to look at all the things that are available to you. And the primary one, you've got to survive and you've got to put food on the table for your children. I mean, I question whether there isn't an alternative that somebody would be able to do, because there surely must be something else that you can do. You could go and be a builder or work in Tesco's or whatever, I don't know, anything. But you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. It's about how strongly you value that principle. And if you either don't want to serve alcohol or you don't want to, sell it or whatever, you just wouldn't do it. So for me, I just wouldn't do it. There's certain things I just wouldn't do. And that's because that's from
that's your opinion.
Religious belief. Yeah, that's my opinion. Completely.
I mean, personally, I'm quite lucky when I think about this because, I'm university educated, I'm in London, I'm within an hour's commute of, Lord knows how many jobs. And when I think back to, say, my grandparents and when they first came to this country as uneducated people, as people who weren't as geographically mobile, didn't even have a car. Obviously, the circumstances were very different then. There's the old sort of stereotype of South Asians setting up corner shops and stuff. And, that's not something that I have to entertain in the same way. I have more choices because of my privilege and my background now, and because my parents and grandparents have been here. And I think that we might see a change. If you can afford to have more of a choice, then I think it would be nice to see people actually, making choices on more ethical or moral grounds. And it's not just a religious thing, You might have vegans that don't want to work in certain areas or do certain things, or you might have people that say, actually, I don't want to work for an arms or a weapons manufacturer because of who's buying them and who's doing what with them. So, I think that there are always these choices about jobs, and for me personally, I'm in a place where I have more choices, so hopefully I can make a better decision.
It's very good for people who are in a position of privilege like ourselves to be able to make these choices, but for some they don't have those choices as well. What are your thoughts on this?
I remember my grandma, she doesn't eat onions and garlic, but when she started here, she would have to work in restaurants and work with onions and garlic, so she didn't have the privilege of being able to choose what career to go down. But I think ultimately also does come down to how seriously do you take your religion. Some people may not take it as seriously and are willing to compromise on things, on their careers, and sometimes they just have a passion for their particular career. So if it does clash with their religious values or beliefs, their religion may be secondary to them. So it ultimately probably does come down to how seriously you take both your career and your religion.
But then can you seriously compartmentalize religion and society in this day and age? You might be someone who takes it incredibly seriously, your religion, but then can you really, separate the two in this day and age right now?
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, on our daily lifestyles, for someone who's highly religious, their religion and their career play an equally important role, and they can be complementary and they can even clash. So for someone who has the privilege to be able to decide what career to go down, they would sometimes at least look at their religious values and beliefs and how it would affect their lifestyle. For example, someone working in finance, if it involves a lot of wining and dining, and someone through their religious values don't drink alcohol and not keen on eating out regularly and things like that, then they may avoid those career choices.
I agree with what you're saying there, but isn't that picking and choosing? Because this is an interest-based society, and in Islam as well, interest is something that you shouldn't really be accruing. So there is that side of things as well. Is there not, Saika? Saika?
Sex, alcohol, all that sort of stuff is really, it is kind of forbidden in Islam. So I think if we have to, everything that we do in life is about choice, and I think we have to make choices, and it's more about how important them choices are, and everybody can justify it in their own mind. But I think it just comes down to personal values and principles.
So what about for yourself? Do you think that you can actually now, is there any way of actually having everything, or do you have to compartmentalise?
I think there is a way in which you can reconcile your religious beliefs with a career. So, I know people, for example, that were in investment banking and then thought, what am I doing chasing money? A big element of being a Sikh is not to be motivated by material interests. So they became a teacher instead. And, they're teaching kids and they see that as something to do out of compassion. And, I think that aligns personally. I don't see any issue with that. I mean, again, it comes down to what can you yourself live with almost,
See, and that's the interesting thing there, because people will be like, oh, he's given up to be a teacher, he's given up all that money and all that. Why is it that we're in a money-driven society like that, where the value of someone who works in the city as a banker is more than the happiness of someone who wants to help and raise and teach kids? Do you see what I'm saying there?
Exactly, and you're fighting against the grain in that sense. You're going against the tide, and I think that's probably one of the harder things about it. Not just making that decision, but knowing that there's everything stacked against you when you are making that decision. And I think that's where religious communities can play a role, where we can help each other. You can come into congregation, or you can be with other like-minded religious people who can support the lifestyle choice that you want to make. And I think the value of what we call Sangat in Sikhi, I think that can help as well.
Okay, final comment, Tilak?
Yeah, on the topic of religious communities as well, that I was doing some research amongst young Hindus in London, and many of them said that their career choices were informed by their religious communities. So they would select their careers in a way that they could aid and help their particular organisations and institutions as well. So I think the two, especially for young people who value religion, their career choices are in many ways perhaps are informed by their religious beliefs.
And that privilege has come from the hard work of our ancestors and grandfathers, isn't it? Thank you very much for your time, all three of you, Tilak, Sukh Singh Sodhi, and also Saika as well.